Alright, so we got another great one that was sent in here. So this one was played by Deep Blue as the white pieces, and as the black pieces it was Garry Kasparov. Okay, so this one's going to be a very good one here we got, because this is one from the IBM match, so it's going to be a good one, everyone. So let's go ahead and let's go check it out. Okay, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Okay, yeah. So let's take a look. This is going to be a really nice one because it's also a Spanish opening, or Roy Lopez, depending on which one you call it. a6, bishop a4. So one thing I do want to show real quick here is, so this is the variation that I like when I do play the Spanish. What I do frequently is if I play it, I would take, and then takes. Knight can't take because there would be queen to e7. So don't try that if you try this variation. Better is something like d4, e takes, queen takes, knight takes. And this is the variation I play. Just kind of want to show you what I do. And yeah, because I like this because it gets the queens off and I like endgames. So this is how I like to play. Alright. I know it's not for everyone, but this is how I did. Alright. Just wanted to show that. Just to give you some other ideas of other types of Spanish opening, and it's a little bit more of a simpler variation. Sometimes the Spanish gets very complex, like in this game. Okay, knight f6, 0-0, bishop to e7. Alright, so right here, I actually wanted to take a break from the game again, because there's this other variation I also want to show. So once when I was in a USCF, United States Chess Federation, one of those tournaments, I was going against a player that was a little bit higher rated than me, a couple hundred points. And so I went for a tricky line because I wasn't sure if, I could win. So what I went for, actually, hold on, going for the regular game here, I'm clicking wrong. Okay, knight takes e4 after bishop to e7 is what I played. Knight takes e4, and so he played d4, because this is probably the best move according to theory. Your opponent is behind a development, his king is in the center, white is castled, so he should be trying to open the center, so it's very logical. So I took again, and now he's probably thinking, well, wait, this knight is on the same file as his king? He's just been capturing pawns, not moving his pieces, and that's what I was thinking. But also one other thing to keep in mind is that, because of the capture, if white doesn't do anything, he's much higher rated. Then if he doesn't do anything, he's just going to be down 2 pawns against a player that's much higher rated than him. So it's a little bit tricky. So he would play rook to e1 in the game that I played, and then after rook to e1, it's okay. This knight is pinned, so we should defend it, d5. And he took, attacking this knight twice, and he's saying, oh, he's probably like, oh, this amateur, I have him now. I'm double attacking his knight, and there's a lot of threats. So I just ignored it, I played bishop d6. Knight takes, bishop takes h2, king takes, queen h4, and then I got to draw really quickly. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you like the Roy Lopez. I just wanted to show that variation, but now back to the Kasparov game. So this is why you're all here, not to see my game. Okay. But I just wanted to show that variation because it's a tricky one to keep in mind. Okay, so castling bishop to e7. Okay. So bishop to e7, rook e1, b5, bishop to b3, d6, and all this is just standard opening theory in the Roy Lopez. It's the Roy Lopez, so there's tons of theory. You could probably just play a random move and it would probably be theory in some way. c3, I want to go for d4, build the nice center. Okay, castling h3, because bishop to g4 would be annoying, so you prevent it. Okay, h6, d4, so Deep Blue's building the center. Rook e8, knight b d2, and this is a good idea because to bring this knight over, something like this, you can start to get another piece into an attack. Okay, bishop to f8, knight f1, bishop d7, knight g3, knight a5, bishop c2, because this light square bishop is very important in the Ruy Lopez, very important attacker, so you don't want to lose it for a knight. So, part of the knight coming to a5 was so that the c pawn could be moved to help gain some space. So c5, b3, knight c6, d5, knight e7, bishop b3, knight g6. Okay. a4 and knight to h4. So if you've been watching, you can see that some of these black pieces have been a little bit cramped in here. These pieces aren't extremely active. He's a little bit low in space. So knight to h4, if he can get off a minor piece, that might help him with his space issues a little bit. Okay. Knight takes, queen takes, so minor piece off, slightly better. Slightly less cramped. Okay. Queen e2, queen d8, b4, queen c7, and rook e to c1. So, one thing to think about when you play, when in doubt, line your rook up with your opponent's queen. Okay, c4, rook a3. Okay, so a takes on b5 is a move that white wants to play. But before he does it, he wants to double up pieces on the open file. So if you can, doubling on an open file before opening it is a good idea. Okay. Rook ec8, rook ac1, queen d8, and f4. So white already has play on the queen side. You know, he's got these pawns, he's got the potential for this break. So now f4 is played. So now adding in play on the king side as well. So making threats on both sides of the board is going to make it more difficult for black because his pieces have less room to move around, and it'll be less easy for him to move from the side of the board to cover every threat. Alright. f6. F takes, d takes. Okay, so there's this passed pawn. Queen f1, so passed pawns can be strong in endgames. Passed pawns can also be weak. Some people hear passed pawn and they automatically think, oh, passed pawn, that means it's great. Not always. Sometimes, some cases they're good, sometimes they're bad. So one thing just to remember. Okay, knight e8, queen f2, knight d6. When your opponent has a passed pawn, usually the best thing to do is put a knight in front of it, because you want to block the passed pawn from ever advancing, and the knight is best because usually the knight can still be active even if it's blocking the passed pawn, because it is, threatening this pawn here. It's adding an attacker to the base of the chain. So that knight's still pretty good even though it's blocking the pawn. Alright, bishop b6, queen e8, rook 3 a2, bishop e7, bishop c5, bishop to f8. Okay, knight f5, bishop takes f5, e takes f5, and f6 is played here because you don't want to allow white to put his pawn on f6. If this pawn is allowed to get... If this pawn is... Why do I keep picking up the knight? Anyways, if the pawn is allowed to get to f6, then these pawns could be a little bit weakened on the king side. Say, let's make a random move for black. Let's say he just plays something terrible. f6, obviously you don't want to take, and if pushes, then these pawns are slightly weakened. So yeah, just one possible idea to keep in mind. What was in the mind of Kasparov when he played this? Okay. The downside is some of these squares are now weakened. Alright. But if the pawn was allowed to get to f6, that'd be very bad. Okay. So, bishop takes d6, bishop takes d6. So here we have bishops of opposite color. So when there are bishops of opposite colors in the endgame, that's more likely to lead to a draw, usually. But when it's in the middle game, that usually means it's better for the side that's attacking. since it's almost like you have an extra piece because there's no way for the black king to defend it, really. There's no real way to stop this bishop because, you know, some of these light squares are weak, and this bishop also is blocking by its pawn. It's not very effective. And so it's usually better for the side that's attacking. Alright. So here is a move that has some controversy to it. So a takes b5. So some people say that IBM may have been a little bit not entirely fair with this move, because it seems a little bit suspicious that the computer will go for this variation instead of going for a variation that wins material, since most computers will go for material over anything. And even a lot of modern computers will still take the variation that wins material. So, you know, it's at least a little suspicious. I don't know that it's... I mean, I have no way of knowing whether or not there was anything not fair going on or not, but it does seem at least a little suspicious, so I think that they do have reason to doubt that it was fair, because, you know, even modern computers will take the material, will take the move that was played, that will take the move that would have led to the material being won, and also most computers will almost always take any small advantage, like bishops or two bishops or something, even in positions where a knight would be better, because the programmers usually make the bishops worth slightly more sometimes. So yeah, that's definitely questionable. But the variation that would have won the material, so in the game, a takes b5 was played, but queen b6, rook d8, a takes, rook a, b8, and queen a6. And then after e4, black is 2 pawns down, but he does at least have some play and some activity. Which, you know, if you know Garry Kasparov, you know that he's an active player. You know, he's very good with things like that. So if he was to have gotten a position like this against Deep Blue, you know, maybe he could have made something happen. Whereas, you know, in the move that was played in the game, a takes b5, it cuts down the activity. But again, it is questionable that the computer may not have really gone for this line. Maybe there was something going on, I don't know, but no way of knowing. Okay, so in the game, a takes b5, bishop e4, rook takes, queen takes, and yeah, so let's just speed ahead to the end of this game, because there's only a few moves left. So king f7, queen a6, queen c7, queen c6. Yeah, and here on rook to a6, this is where Garry Kasparov resigned in this game. So yeah, it's unfortunate for him, but yeah, this was a very interesting game. So yeah, it definitely is something to think about, whether or not maybe the programmers had done something different to make the computer pick a positional move over a material move. I guess we'll never know what really happened. Alright, well, that's all for this game. Okay, yeah, so keep sending me your games, everyone. It was really nice that everyone was suggesting to me some Grandmaster games, and actually 2 that were Garry Kasparov I had just gotten. So yeah, so very, very nice, everyone. Keep sending me your games, and keep sending me requests for Grandmaster games, because those are really nice. Alright, so thanks again. Bye.